Heading out for another ride, a little after 6 o'clock. Just rolling out of my neighborhood. Celebrating the 4th of July. Since it's going to be next Thursday. I'm wearing my July 4th kit. And should be an interesting ride. Weather, the summer has settled here in Southeast Texas. And so we're doing our best to stay cool. We try to get back around lunchtime, sometimes a little earlier, keeping the stops short, 5 to 7 minutes when we stop at the store, so keep things moving along. So we'll get some clips for you all. Should be interesting.
On this ride, I left Northampton, rode into the woodlands. I picked up the group at the Alden Village Center. We headed out. We took Terramount Parkway out to 2978. Went through Ventura, Dobbins-Huffsmith. By the time we got out to Karen, the camera was rolling. The pace was very high. We got all the way into Dobbins. We stopped at a store, ended the filming. We continue on Mt.Maria off camera, into Dacus, Johnson Road, Bailey Grove, back down 149, stopping at Taco, and then came back to Spring Branch. It was a very hot and humid day, and it was just really hard on us. You know, we had to consume a lot more liquids to keep our core temperature down. By the time we got back into town, it was just steaming, you know. So the ride was fast. We put out a lot of effort, and so we had to compensate by handling the heat properly.
There he is, my brother. He spells it B-R-O-D-A. That's why. That's a Nigeria way. Nigeria way, right? Nigeria way. That's a Nigeria. It's a Nigeria. Nigeria way. All right, my brother. We are short stops, 5 to 7 minutes. Take care of business. Let's talk on the bike. Let's keep moving. Should be a lot of fun. Okay.
You want me to open in prayer?
Yes, please.
Heavenly Father, we thank you again for this day. We thank you for the blessings of cycling for our friends, Lord Father. As we go out today, Lord Father, be with us. Let the protection of us. Amen.
Amen. Let's have fun.
We're on the open road. We're approaching the FM 2978 at May Valley Road. We're leaving the woodlands. We're on the outskirts heading towards Dobbins-Huffsmith Road. This road is actually called Greenmoor. If you look at the map on the right, we came off of May Valley, and this is Greenmoor. We're taking a roundabout way to get out to Jackson Road because they have messed up 1488, which is the most direct way to get out there. It's a very humid morning. It says 28 Celsius. It feels warmer. I consumed almost 12 bottles of water on the whole ride.
Yeah. So we're like, and we didn't see you guys anywhere near. We just didn't realize anything. So we're like, please stay away.
I believe the light, yeah, we got green. So this is where Greenmoor hits 2978 south of where we usually head north that way. So we're going south and we're going to go west. There are going to be stretches. There are two instances in this section where you're going to see where we have to put down big watts when there are gaps in the group. We're going to be turning right at the corner down there. I believe this road is called Field Store Road. You turn it right. It's kind of an odd corner. It's a bit off camber. It even gets more tricky in about maybe 500 meters. We're going to be turning left. It's an off camber turn. They scraped it, rightfully so, because I've actually seen a car slide off of there into the gutter. Right there. That road is tilted to the right, which is odd, but that's to let water run off. So it's a tricky corner. So as I turn, somebody starts to go hard up there. So you're going to see, look at my watts. 600 plus watts to get up to the group. So if you can't do that, that's where you can get dropped. And because somebody turned the screw as soon as they went around that corner. It's one of those the oldest tricks in the book. And I just relax and put down the power and ride up to them. That's what you have to do. You don't need to panic. Because what they were doing wasn't sustainable. So when you train, you have to be able to put out those efforts repeatedly if that's how your group rides. You got to be able to do it 20 plus times if necessary. That's just the way it is. So if you're cruising around at 200, 250 watts, you should be able to do 500, 600 watts for short periods and recover from it. We're going to a road coming up called Dobbins-Huffsmith. I mean, the ride just started off fast. We're doing 38K. I believe this is a grade, yeah. So almost a 1 point something percent, let's say. And we're doing almost 23 miles an hour, something like that. It is early in the ride. We started at 7. We rolled through the woodlands to come south and take this way to get out of town. We're going to be turning right up here. This road is called Dobbins-Huffsmith. The guy who was doing that effort back there doesn't even last with the group 20 miles. That's what I'm talking about. So when you ride smart. Don't waste your energy. Some riders come to the ride to put on a show. They're not training. So you need to ignore those riders. They can't teach you anything. We call them flash in the pan in any sport. You want to go with the people who can do the work forever. Those are the people that can teach you how to endure. That's Frank in front of me on the left here. So we're doing 40K and we're rolling on Dobbins-Huffsmith, It's a good pace. The whole ride was like this. People were just pushing and pushing. So by the time we got back to Taco, the numbers in the group reduced, of course. People started taking different ways. Some people had to go home, whatever. So if you want to finish the whole route, whatever you're doing, you need to pace yourself accordingly so you can really finish the route and finish it strong. So don't be hesitant to let people go when they're wasting energy. You got to listen to yourself, especially in the heat. You will see in about probably 20 kilometers, I'll let the group go for a bit and then hook back up with a couple of riders that have fallen off, and we rode back to the finish of the ride. But by doing that, I finished the ride very strongly. So you don't need to waste your energy. You have to listen to yourself, listen to how you're going. Throughout the ride, your body has its ups and downs. Because one moment you can be feeling great, and the next moment something else happens. You gotta always be paying attention. Don't ignore it. Especially when you're dealing with challenging weather. Riding in the heat is very hard on the body. So is riding when it's very cold if you don't have the proper equipment. So because stuff like heat stroke and stuff, sometimes you can't really tell, and it creeps up on you. It can creep up on you, so and it's serious. It's dangerous. When there's a doubt, drink more water, pour water over your head, your body, whatever. Keep your core temperature down, or drop the pace. And definitely wear light garments. I prefer to wear light color garments when it's very hot. In this stretch here, we're kind of looking out for dogs. There are some dogs that live out in a little bit. We'll pass another store. The dogs live out there, but they weren't out today, which was good. We always got to be aware, because once we see them, we spread out to leave space in the group so everybody can maneuver. Because after this gas station, the dogs hang around on the right here. So I tell them, watch for dogs. That boat on the right is where they're usually under that boat. But they were not out today. I guess the heat, the heat bothered them enough. So that's good. People just leave their dogs out to roam around public roads. Not everybody should have pets.
They're not out today.
It's a new neighborhood where we just slowed down there. It's a new neighborhood that built out there. So this effort for me is at the top of zone 2. It's almost like what I call high aerobic. So you can still talk somewhat, but it's somewhat hard, let's put it that way. Not very hard. So in about maybe 15 to 16 kilometers, you're going to see Mt.Maria's right off the front. The guys at the front watch him go, then decide to start chasing. But the problem is nobody's working together. If you don't work together, you waste your energy, because you got one guy pulling at a time instead of like a rotating pace line or something, or taking short, hard pulls, short, fast pulls to get you up there. But my thing is, why let him go, then chase him? If you're going to let him go, then just keep riding at your pace. There's no point in expending more energy than is necessary. It wasn't any secret. He didn't attack the group. He just kind of rode in a big gear off the front. They all watched him go at the front and then decided later on to lift the pace, but didn't do enough to close the gap quickly. So we didn't really catch him until we got on an an incline. Then everybody started overextending themselves. You'll see me just pull out of the line. Just riding. It didn't make any sense to me, so I'm going to waste my energy. It's a long day in the saddle. So you'll see a development, and one member of our group, instead of working with the group to ride up to the guy, he attacks the group, gets in no man's land, and goes nowhere. You'll see it all develop. That's the kind of thing when I talk about people who ride bikes, but they don't understand the sport. It's kind of like when you play, let's say, basketball. There's 5 of you on the court, and you want to shoot every time, whether you're free, you're open or not. You got to move the ball. The game is simpler if you move the ball. You get easier baskets. It's the same thing. You know, you got 12, 15 guys, and you're going to jump to go catch somebody who you let go. And then you falter. Then you want to come back in the shelter of the group. So we made sure he got all the way to the back. It's just... As you can see, the pace stays high. This road has a lot of patina, so I'm staying more to the left here, using a cleaner pavement, avoiding all the little ruts. You see Frank is making sure that he's riding on the smoothest areas. Frank unzipped his jersey. It's hot. So he's very uncomfortable. I'm wearing one of my lightest jerseys, so I didn't need to unzip it all the way. I'm wearing the July 4th jersey, which is designed for hot weather. It has a lot of kind of ventilated panels, so it was very comfortable. Yeah, when it's over 28C, I break out the lightweight stuff, and we have high humidity as well. So when you overheat, your heart rate will just spike. So you will have higher heart rate numbers than normal. So this entire stretch, Mt.Maria had been pulling, and you see him right here. It looks like he just pulls off, so Abby takes over. So when we get to the end of this, I don't think it's on this stretch, we'll get on 149, we'll go over the railroad tracks. When we turn, I tried to clip in, and I think I had a little bit of debris on my shoe or something, but my clip in didn't feel right, so I unclip and try to clip back in. At that point, the group gaps me because they're going really hard. You will see how hard I have to ride to get up to the group. You have to be able to do that. That should be part of your training, where you ride hard for shorter periods of time, and still be able to finish the ride. You don't need to give up just because you get gapped. You need to be calm and under control, knowing that you can do the effort. So that part of your training should allow you to do blocks of very hard efforts. So where you just relax, put in a big gear and go. That's what I end up doing, That's what you have to do. All of that prepares you to deal with a group that is fast moving and dynamic. We're going to come to a little bump. Everybody gets excited. There's a lot of efforts over here. We're moving here 37, 38K, so about 23, 24 miles an hour. This is fast for this road. I think that's my computer saying there's a hill coming. They have these little segments in the software. It looks like, I don't know if Abby pulled off, or I guess it was Peter that was pulling. I'm not sure who pulled off. Looks like somebody pulled off. Not sure what they're doing up there. I guess Peter pulled off. I think Peter was pulling. Oh no, I think Abby was pulling. It looks like Peter is just drifting to the back. I'm not sure why. But anyway. Because I think Abby was pulling. Unless it was, maybe it was Peter. I'm not sure. Must have been Peter. The road starts to go up here. This road will hit a road called 149 Spur. Then we're going to turn left and go to the main FM 149 to take us to Jackson. The road's going to go up. I stay really close because my plan is to just fan whatever gear I'm in. You see my cadence. I keep my gears low and I remain seated. If you look at my shadow, my legs are moving. It's a short climb. Then I shift up and stay close to the 90. The effort's off here. We're drifting towards 149. Kind of like the little spur or business side of it. It's short. If you go right, it takes you to 1488. We're going to go left and take the main FM 149 and go under the overpass. So we're not going to go up the overpass on this route, because they've got barrels on the overpass. They only have one lane. It's a bit congested. So this is the piece of 149, almost like a business side to it. And it just connects to 1488 and it goes back to 149. We're on the south side of 1488 here. There are a bunch of cars coming in both directions. It's clear. There's a car coming from the right, but he's going to be turning, so we'll go ahead and turn here. So usually my heart rate would be like 135, 137. It was about 10 beats higher the whole ride. I think it's because of the heat. You know, 5 to 10 beats higher to sing. I just pay attention to really how I feel more than anything. That's why you don't only train by heart rate. It's affected by the environmental factors like heat, humidity, so forth and so on. And that's why you don't only want to train by power. If you feel crappy and then you start killing yourself putting out big watts, you might pass out on that ride. This is where something got on my shoe when I stopped back there. And I think we stopped here again. So when I clipped back in, there was something in my pedal. So I took my time, I unclipped right here, cleaned it out, and put my foot back in. You can see I'm already gapped. So now you have to be able to look at 700, 800 watts almost That's the kind of riding you got to be able to do, whether it's 1 minute, 2 minutes, you got to be able to do that. It's like a pursuit. And I ride back to the group at almost 40K. So part of your training should be harder than what you normally do to teach yourself. Say, those of you who race, if you have a flat, you can be able to ride back. You got to teach yourself. That should be part of your training where you're doing 20-minute intervals. You know, they're not like pursuit intervals, but you're teaching your body to be able to go hard for extended periods. That's why sometimes it's best to train by yourself, so you can teach yourself to do these things. This is the kind of stuff I do on my Wednesday training workouts. Do like 3 20-minute sessions where you're hitting zone 4 or higher, depending on how you feel, and you stay there and work for 20 minutes. So you do like 60 minutes spaced out over, say, a 3-hour ride. So this is 149 is going to go under the overpass, because that's the part where we'll go over and loop around and come to it. Well, we're going to go straight under it, just continue into Jackson. And you may have this in your ride too. There are always a few riders who show up for a ride, don't speak to anyone, then they leave the ride when it suits them, and they don't tell anyone. And how I treat those riders, I act like they're not there, because it's kind of rude and it's really lousy social skills to go to a gathering and not even say good morning. You know, if you're that bad off, ride by yourself. Don't even come to the ride. What's the point of that? So people like that act like they don't exist. I don't have time for that. These are grown men. They're not children. You know. And so they show up, don't say anything. They leave, they don't say anything. And I act like they weren't even there. And you may have that, especially at open rides. You get a lot of that. But we have a few people that do that. And as far as I'm concerned, they don't exist. I don't have time for that. It's foolishness. This road has a slight grade in this section. You see the watts? Almost 600. That's why you have to train like that. So if you're riding in a group and you're having to do 600, 700 watts, especially where we're going with the hills, if you're doing that 10 to 15 times and you're not prepared for that, it can wear you out. This is going to bring us a little west of a little area called Moston, and Magnolia is to our left. That's the overpass that we usually ride up and over and go down and loop around to come to this road. Today we're going under it because that overpass has barrels, construction barrels on it. Last time we went up there, it only had one lane. So this is the light that we usually stop at from the left. So you see how I've changed my position in the group. I end up behind this guy. The dynamics of the group are such that if somebody's having problems clipping in or doing something, don't feel obligated to sit behind them. Get in the wheels. You know, like you saw back there, I had to expend a lot of energy because I unclipped to clean my cleat, and I had to work to get back. So don't make that happen too many times, because you end up what we call burning matches, and you might need that later. So when those guys were messing around back there, I just went around and got in the wheels. And this is the stretch that would take us to Jackson Road. The entire ride just stayed fast. And we made the stops very short. I would say maybe 7 minutes or so. And we're ready to go. We're messing around. Somebody even suggested that we start at 6:30 in the morning, but I kind of wanted to keep it at 7. It seems to be a good starting time. And I just told them that we just make the stop shorter. So by about 11:30, I think we're back. Because I ride an extra hour from where the group starts. About, I would say 40 minutes. And I was home by 12:30. Something like that. 12:30, 12:45. I had to stop a lot to get water in the different parks. It was hot. And the heat does affect your performance. So you have to make sure you're hydrated. Don't try to tough it out. You don't feel good? Drink, slow down, whatever. It says 29 Celsius, like 85, almost 90, 87, almost 90 degrees. It feels hotter. The air is thick. It's very humid. Most of our route, we had trees, like you see. We were under the canopy of trees, so it was a nice balance because the sun is out. I put on SPF 50 for this ride on my arms. It helps a bit because I can't wear the arm sleeves, even the light arm sleeves. I feel hot in them when it's this humid. I don't know if we'll see if the camera would pick up Mike Barrera's move off the front. He starts to ride. He gets into traffic and rides off. People watch him go. Then we end up later on, people start raising the pace to chase him. I don't know if I picked him up with the camera. Maybe not. But you'll see the chase at a minimum. But if you're going to go with somebody and they're leaving, unless they're doing a drastic attack, go ahead and ride with them. Don't waste energy chasing them later. But if you are going to chase and you have other members in the group, you guys work together. That's all part of the fun. You don't want to attack your mates when you're trying to catch somebody if you need their help. Trying to see if we picked him up when he starts. Because it's somewhere out here where he takes off. He doesn't attack. He just kind of rides off in a large gear. It's closer to one when we get near 149. Because you will see Abby try to go up there. I don't know if he goes to try to get him or he goes to the front. But I saw him make a move after Mike took off. I just kind of sat and watched everything to see what people would do. Abby's getting on the road because there's a little bit of debris on the corner. I don't get on the road. I just stay next to the white line. A little bit of rocks and stuff. We've ridden enough on this road where I know. I think this is around here. I think you can see, I saw him. Mike's on the road. He's in the main lane right now. There. No, okay, that's somebody pulling off. Yeah, I think Mike's gone because this is when Abby made the move to go to the front. I don't know what he was doing because this is Pete drifting back. I'm not sure why. I guess because I don't think he was pulling. So Mike's already made his move. You can see two riders up there. Oh, if you look on the right, you'll see it briefly. Let's see again if I can pick them up on this side. So they're off the front. I don't know if Abby got to him. I don't think Abby ever made it to him because Abby ended up sitting at the front of the group for a bit. Well, our pace has not changed. So if you're in a group and you want to get somebody back, then you raise the pace and do shorter turns and have everybody go through, preferably using a rotating pace line. We've not been able to get people around here to do that very successfully. So there, I know Mike is up ahead. I don't know if Abby has come back. We're going to be approaching the corner. Mt.Maria is in the distance there. Abby's right in front of our group, so he tried to go but didn't get up there. I don't know what that was about, but anyway. This truck is turning right, yet Abby saw that, but he and another rider went on the right of the guy. I thought like he should have gotten behind the guy like we did. Because he knew the man was turning, he had a signal on. Those are the kind of things you have to avoid doing. Be predictable. So we go through the intersection. This is a slight grade. I leave enough gap for Kenny here. I'm not sure if he's trying to get in. I just leave enough gap for him to get in. At this point, I'm not sure if the people up front have decided they want to chase Mike or not. Because my thing was, you should have just gotten on his wheel when he went by. And let him go and then come back to chase him. So I don't know. I'm just watching. We're not really chasing here. There is no concerted effort. I think Clement Champoussin is at the front. You can see we're slowing down. You see Laura's not even pedaling. So there is no chase. I don't chase because the thing is this. If I'm at the front and Mike goes and I feel like, oh, I want to go, I would just lift the pace and get on his wheel before he has a big gap. Oh, some guy telling me that somebody fell off.
Yeah, that's fine. He
He knows his way.
Yeah, on our ride, we have a route. You need to download it. And he's one of those people who come to the ride, don't talk to anybody, and leaves whenever he chooses. I could care less. I'm riding. That's all I'm interested in. So he turned off back there at 149 in the overpass, which might give him a 25, 30 mile ride, if that. But that was his plan, and he didn't share with anybody. So Pete was concerned. Oh, we lost a rider. Yeah, whatever. He didn't say nothing to us. It's fine. He knows the area. So here we're really just riding, 26 miles an hour. It's a decent pace, but there's no impetus. We're not really working too hard. We're talking back here. See how this road has a lot of shade? That is just really, really nice. I hope they never cut these trees down. It's just beautiful. I mean, even in a car, you can enjoy this road. If you have a convertible or you got a sunroof, you open it up. So we're doing about 22, 23, 24 miles an hour. And the pace has quickened just a tad. But not a whole lot. Now, yeah, it was soft pedaling still. So one thing when, if I'm in the group and somebody goes like that, if people are not working together, I'm not going to waste my energy. Because, the little useless bursts. I don't know if Peter has already tried to get up to Mike or not. I don't believe so. I believe he's going to do it in a little bit. So he was at the front. He's drifting back. I'm not sure if he was pulling or not, but anyway, I think he was changing position. And then for some reason, he will go to the front and try to bridge. The Shempusan is pulling, so he wasn't pulling. He drifted. He might have been in third or fourth position and drifted back. I'm not sure why Kenny is sitting out there. I guess it's just trying to avoid braking. Okay. So somewhere around here, I think, or after here, Peter is going to accelerate, attack the group, try to bridge, and be unsuccessful, and then drift back. I think if I remember it correctly. Yeah. So we're not really working together to try to catch him anyway. There's no impetus, so I'm not sure. I guess that's why Peter tried to do it right here. So Peter takes off, and Mike Barrera is in the distance. He goes off the front, but really doesn't go anywhere. Maybe 1 or 2 car lengths, and he hits the wall. He doesn't go any faster. instead of working with us if we're going to try to catch the guy. Or egg people, or just say, hey, the guys, let's get a pace line going or something, but that's the stuff that probably happens in your group. So I saw all of that, just kind of smiled, because when he went off the front, I could tell he didn't have the impetus, and he just kind of stalled. And in a little bit, you would see him come back. At this point, the group is moving in earnest, and the line is tight. So he has to go all the way to the back. I think Doug is pulling right now. I think Clement Champoussin has pulled off the front. John Mowbray. That's Peter you just saw. He's in no man's land. He didn't go anywhere, so he's drifting back. You kind of have to know your limitations as the Terminator. As the Terminator, no, Clint Eastwood. He said a man must know his limitations. Dirty Harry. So he expended all that energy and didn't go anywhere. Anyway, but hey, that's part of it. That's good training. He didn't use the French formula tête à jambe. So he goes back all the way to the back, and we just keep riding. As the road begins to go up in about maybe a couple of kilometers, we're going to catch Mike on the incline. Then people start anaerobic efforts. Well, I just pull out of the line. You'll see it. And I pick up the two guys in a little bit that had dropped, and we ride in together. I knew it was going to be a long day. I wanted to do, I did almost, let's see, 90-something miles. I wanted to do all of it. I didn't want to waste my energy and have to shorten my ride. There's a different way you ride when you're doing big miles. I ended up doing about 95 miles or something crazy like that. And in this heat, that was an accomplishment. So the road's going up now, and I don't know if we've already caught Mike, but Doug pulls off. Doug did a strong pull, he pulls off. And I think Logan takes over, and he starts to look at my watts. He starts to raise the effort too hard. That's why I said when I said people don't know how to ride. This guy just took a long pull, and you're doing this. So watch he help you again. They don't know how to sip their energy. You need to learn that. So now he's done all of that, and in a little while, all that effort that he made is going to cause him to get dropped on this same hill. So that's what I'm talking about. If he had just not gone as hard and stayed a little longer, he probably would have been fine. You can't empty your tank before the ride is over. So I looked in my mirror and I could see he was having difficulty. So there's two of them that are having difficulty right now. So in a little bit, I'm gonna pull off because they continue to do this. I said, I'm not gonna ride like this for 6 hours. We're about an hour into the ride, an hour 10. That's 5 hours of riding in this heat. That's the way I'm thinking. I'm in zone 4 now. So in a little bit, I'm going to pull off. And Paul and them are going to come around. I'm just going to drop my effort. It's too hot. So this guy also pulls off, Darren, and he drops his effort. He's going to ride with Logan, who was killing himself a little while ago. We've already caught Mike. And so right here, I'm going to pull off. Because they start to go super hard. I'm like, I'm not doing that. So I pull off. I'm right at sweet spot. I could go, but I'm like, no, I'm thinking this is a hot day. It's going to be a long day. So I'm thinking ahead. That's the way you have to use your head. So I look in my mirror and I see those two guys back there. The one that just pulled really hard, and then Darren pulled the pin because Darren wants to ride into Bailey Grove and everything that we're doing as well. And these guys are like doing all these attacks. So I guess he decided I'm just gonna pull the pin and back off a bit. So he's riding with Logan behind me, and I'm between the two groups here. So I'll go ahead and shift up and keep my effort around 200 watts or so. That's the plan. That's what I decided to do. They're not that far. The camera has a wide angle that look further. We can see them the whole time. Even when I turn on the highway in a little bit, you'll see it. So I decided to just ride at an endurance effort. And I can see those guys back there, they're riding together, Darren and Logan. So if you want to do a big ride and you start out too fast, it's never too late to back off so that you can finish your ride. Everybody has different goals. Because a lot of riders on this ride ended up after Taco taking a different way home. They didn't finish the whole ride. And I plan to get the K's in my legs because I'm already behind from the way my training went this year. So that's the way you have to think. So now I'm going to get to this corner. I'm going to turn. I still see the group. And I look in my mirror and I see those guys after a while, they'll turn too. So I'm going through the gears because this is a slight downhill. That says 3%, -3. The camera doesn't show, but I can see the group. They're in the distance. I see those guys coming. I keep my effort comfortable. So whenever you're by yourself and you got a group coming up, you always got to be ready to raise your pace. So you want to make sure that you're in a supple gear. Don't kill your leg. So I think it's somewhere around here they're going to come up. I'm going to shift up to get on there, get in the wheels. Right here. You see my watts? So I put down some power just to get in the wheels. So now the thing is, there's another thing I'm going to explain. We're not going to catch those guys. They're going to keep riding. So we really should just do our own thing. But this never happens with riders who are not very experienced. Because if you could have stayed with them, or if you chose to stay with them, whatever your reason for pulling the pin, you're not going to catch them from back here unless they slow down. Well, the stop's coming up in about maybe 3 miles. But the thing is that why kill yourself here? Because he's riding a little over his head. You can see I'm not even pedaling. 0 watts, a little bit of RPM because we're slightly downhill. But he's killing himself. You're not going to catch those guys, so why are you doing this? If you had this much energy, then you shouldn't have pulled the pin. If you were going to work that hard, just stay with them. It's probably some of the stuff I don't understand when I'm riding. I was like, man, please. I have no interest in wasting my energy. I'm saving it for all the other part of the route, like Mt.Maria and Johnson Road that's coming up, you know. So I get to the front, I pull for a little bit, and I'm going to pull off. And I think Darren will take over. And I think when he pulls over, I don't think I go through again. I think I sit on the back for a while. So just because somebody pulls out of the line does not mean they're tired. What it means is they probably have different goals or different things they want to do. So yeah, I wave Darren up and then I slip behind him. Your hair get real quiet. So resist the urge to kill yourself if you fall off the pace of the group for whatever your reasons were, unless it was something maybe a mechanical or whatever and you think you can get back up there. But other than that, if you're trying to conserve, just ride at your own pace. Because you'd have to do a Herculean effort to get up to the group that's moving down the road, unless they're much slower than you know. I don't follow him because he goes by, and I'm thinking, well, I don't know if Darren was done or not, but it doesn't matter. But I'll go ahead and sit on Darren's wheel. I want to see what these guys are doing. I want to see how they're riding together. Because the two of them were back there on Jackson riding together. So even in a small group like this, if you go too hard and you're pulling and the next person comes through, you can have problems. I don't know if I go to the front or Darren goes to the front. Somewhere around here, we're going to change the lead. Yeah, this is where Darren goes. Okay, then I go with Darren. So right around here, when we go by, Logan's having problems. He had worked too hard. I looked at my mirror, he had worked out. So I just come to the front, I gave Darren my wheel. And right about here, we I settled the pace. Gave Logan a chance to get back in the wheels. And then we're gonna pick up Frank when we turn left on Mt.Maria. So the different, you have to learn how to ride with people as opposed to showing how fast you are. You have to be able to adjust your pace to ride with who you're riding with. I think there are two cars going by and then we're going to turn. Okay, right. Yeah. I ride up to him because I'm a bit puzzled because he was struggling back there a little while ago and he's at the front here, but we're going slower and slower. You can see 27, 28K. That's about 16, 17 miles an hour. But he seems to want to pull, so I'm not going to argue with him. I'll let him sit there. This road is a slight grade. So always learn to stay within yourself. That's the key, because you will have a much more enjoyable ride than overreaching too much into the red or doing too many anaerobic efforts. He flicks his arms out, go through here, I guess. I didn't remember this section, but we're just kind of riding. I think Darren's gonna come by because I think when we get up to Frank, Darren will be in front, I think. And they're hitting those cracks. That's what happens when you get tired. You can't read the road. That's what he said. Logan telling Darren you're going to get your wheels sucked in. Because the cracks are getting bigger and bigger on Mt.Maria. One of our favorite roads. It's getting washed away. They've tried to patch them with the asphalt that you see there. Or liquid asphalt they put in the cracks. I think I'm going to wave somebody through right here. So when you're riding, pay attention to effort. Don't worry about speed, because as the road and the wind and other grades change, your speed may drop. So I don't know what you did this weekend, but this is part of what we did on Saturday. Remember, get your K's in and keep all the doctors fired. Good. Whew.